Hello again. Chris Lee of Southeastern 16, joined by Graham Doty and Jay Greason. We are previewing the Oxford Regional featuring Ole Miss, which made a late run to earn itself a host with its performance in the SEC tournament, where it made the championship game before falling by a run to Vanderbilt and looking really good in the process. Georgia Tech, a team that a lot of people thought was a host contender after winning the ACC regular season, but did not get that distinction. Western Kentucky, an auto qualifier from winning Conference USA, but could have been, frankly, an at-large selection had it not done that. And Murray State, one of the tougher teams in this, in terms of the four seeds at least. Graham, the more I unpack the bracket, I think the committee did a pretty good job on the whole. But it wasn't perfect. And I'm just wondering, as a resident Mississippian, who did Mike Bianco tick off to get this draw?
I can tell you he met with the media yesterday, and he was just kind of giving his thoughts on the overall bracket. And, he made a really good point. He said, how many 3 seeds out there have the record of somebody like Western Kentucky? Western Kentucky has 46 wins, and they're the 3 seed. He said there can't be that very many teams in the country that have 46 wins in general. So I'll say this. If you like offense, this is the regional for you.
Yeah. Well, and you got some teams that can pitch in this league too, which is the other part in this region, which is the other part of the problem. But yeah, I mean, how do we? Let's start with the host, Graham. How are we feeling about the Rebels? I think the bullpen showed some stuff, but Ole Miss may be down the starting pitcher too going into the tournament.
Well, again, we're recording this on a Tuesday. Mike Bianco visited with the media on Monday. Health-wise, he gave an update, and essentially everybody is available except for Jones. Jones is out for the year. No surprise there. But the big ones were Mason Nichols. Mike said he would be surprised if he was not out there this weekend. Randall's back. He's been dealing with a finger issue. And Ryan Moerman had that scary collision in Hoover, colliding with Isaac Humphrey in right center field. So I think Moerman will be available as well. He's more beneficial defensively lately than he is offensively at the plate. So I think health-wise, for the most part, Ole Miss is in good shape. And as you alluded to, Chris, like kind of a pleasant surprise. I'd say the past month, the Ole Miss bullpen has been really, really, really good, and they are a big reason why the Rebels closed strong and made a deep run in the conference tournament.
Sometimes you get a regional where it's kind of like, okay, the 4 is going nowhere. The 3 is maybe a team that won a weak conference or something like that and isn't really a contender. And then it's just, okay, who's going to win between the 1 and the 2? First of all, this isn't the regional. But as a bonus, the Rebels also get a Georgia Tech team that can really, really hit, Jay Greason.
Without question. I mean, you go up and down a lineup of – you've got 7 regulars, all of them with 145 more at-bats in a 57-game season, and 7 of them are hitting 316 or better. As a team, you're hitting 315 overall. I mean, you're scoring more than 8 earned runs a game. It's a unbelievably talented team, and quite possibly, and Graham, and I mean, not to put you on the spot, but of the 8 SEC teams that host a regional this weekend, this is maybe one of the rare occasions where the best player in terms of the MLB draft is Tech shortstop Kyle Lodise in this regional.
And, I mean, you got to bring up Alex Hernandez, too, for Georgia Tech. ACC Freshman of the Year.
Yes.
He's the 7th one in program history, and he's in really, really good company of some other fantastic freshmen that Tech has had over the years. So you'll see a lot of guys that are going to get drafted high and have a really good chance to make it to the show.
And we didn't – I mean, we talked about a balanced lineup with 7 guys hitting 316 or better. you better buckle up, Ole Miss defensively, because they got 4 guys in double-digit steals. I mean, this is a team that puts a whole lot. They got 3 guys with 14 or more homers. I mean, this is a team that puts pressure on you offensively, or at least defensively, every way possible.
There's also the matter of Drew Burress, who can hit a little bit too.
And Drew Burress is probably, just because he's not draft eligible, and I'm just talking about the 2025 crop, to be a little more clear about the conversation, because there ain't a whole lot of boards that don't have Drew Burress one whenever he decides to enter the pick process.
Yeah. He started every game this year, first team ACC, 339 average, 18 home runs, 61 RBIs. So yeah, he's a dude.
Western Kentucky, also a team with some stars, can pitch a little bit too, guys. Western had, a team ERA of 3.35. That's incredible. And the Western also feasted on quad 4, right? So you don't know how that's going to translate. But Western also played some teams pretty well when it played the bigger boys. But you got guys here, Drew Whalen, Jake Bennett, Lucas Hartzman, Gavin Perry, Dawson Hall, Cal Higgins, Patrick Morris. That's their top, 7 arms in terms of innings pitched. Each of those guys had an ERA under a bucket or under 3.5. Ryan Weideman, I think, was the player of the year in the conference, maybe. I know he's a pro prospect, stole 45 bases, had a slash line of 398, 467, 661. I mean, and we'll get to Murray State in a minute too, but that's a team that's pretty scary on paper too.
They are. They have the most all-conference selections of any team in Conference USA. They had 9 players make all-conference. That's first, second, freshman. Kind of the highlight is Ryan Weideman, who you touched on, Chris. He just gets on base. Anytime you have 45 stolen bases, that's an insane number. That's 4th in the country. They got a first-team all-conference selection with a starting pitcher in Drew Whalen. You got to think he's going to go game 1 for the Hilltoppers, and then they got first-team all-conference selection, a relief pitcher in Lucas Hartman. So that's kind of their top arm out of the bullpen. I mean, this is a Western Kentucky team. They have played some of the big boys this season. They beat Vandy at Vandy earlier this season. They're going to be very excited to make the NCAA tournament. First time they've been back to the dance since 2009 when they went to Ole Miss. So they're going to be really excited. And this is a team, like, they had to win the conference tournament in Conference USA to really, really feel good about, because they were squarely on the bubble. So they beat Jacksonville State in extra innings to win the tournament. So, I mean, again, anytime you win 46 games in a season, you don't do that by accident.
Yeah, actually, they didn't beat Vandy, but they did have some good series wins this year. I think they took 2 or 3 from Dallas Baptist, among others. And I think the Vanderbilt game was a 1-run game, if I remember correctly. But the big takeaway here is they've shown that when they played the teams that are some of the better teams in this tournament, that they've competed. Graham,
I get. Did Middle Tennessee beat Vandy?
Yeah. That was the one.
I keep getting those two confused. I know it was a midweek game. It was right before Vandy went to Ole Miss for the 3-game series in Oxford.
Yeah, Vanderbilt beat them 5-4 back on April the 1st.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, nonetheless, I mean, 1-run games in baseball can happen, and point is they're competitive. What do you think about Murray State? Because I think that's going to be an interesting opener for Ole Miss, which I presume will go Hunter Elliott in that one.
Well, if you are a guy that leans on history, that's certainly what Mike Bianco has done. So in the history, 25 years, so a good sample size. He's only not pitched his Friday night guy twice in the first game of a regional setting of every time he's made the tournament. So if I had to guess, yes, again, we're recording this on a Tuesday. But Murray State, like one benefit, Ole Miss and Murray State have played each other. Now, it was a lifetime ago. It was on a Wednesday back in March the 5th. Ole Miss won in extra innings 8-7. This is a Murray State team built around offense. The pitching isn't going to be, quite what you see in the SEC, but Dan Skierka has done a really good job and done a few of his games over the years. So he's the conference coach of the year. First time Murray State has made it to the NCAA tournament since 2003. What Murray State does well, they play really good defense. They got the best defense in the Missouri Valley Conference, and they just get on base. Like most walks, the least amount of strikeouts. They're not going to hit a ton of home runs, under 70 home runs this season, but they got the most doubles in the Missouri Valley Conference. So this is a team they'll hit a lot of singles, doubles, and just get on base and just kind of do what they do. So, again, I do think it's a benefit that Ole Miss has seen them at least once this season, so you got a little taste. Now you get ready to play them for all the marbles, so to speak. So this is a really, really tough regional. I mean, all of these teams are built around offense, and it just feels like everybody in the lineup, you got 2 or 3 guys that are first or second team all conference selection.
Graham, you said that you think Ole Miss will or consistently and historically has pitched their one on Friday night. Do you think they should?
I do, because you want to start the regional with a win. Like it is such a tall task. It is risky. So if you do shake things up, and like let's say Ole Miss starts Riley Maddox and it backfires, then you have to use so much energy to climb out of that loser side of the bracket. So I think that, and again, I haven't talked to anybody, total guess. I do think you'll see Hunter Elliott for game 1 just to get off on the right foot and positive, because if you win game 1 against Murray State, whoever you face, Georgia Tech, Western Kentucky, then you go with Riley Maddox and that bullpen, which has been so good the past month and a half.
Yeah, this is a rare regional where all 4 teams can compete on a given night with any of the other ones, which makes it really hard to predict, especially if a game goes a little haywire and not the results you're expecting. These teams are just so good top to bottom. And like just for comparison's sake, I looked at the DSRs for this regional, which D1, that's their computer ranking. It's a quality ranking, and I think they do a really good job with it. Here's what they've got. Ole Miss 11. Ole Miss 12. Georgia Tech 19. Western Kentucky 31. Murray State 55. Just for comparison's sake, Georgia Tech is close to being a 1. Western Kentucky by that would be a 2. Murray State is 55. I think Kansas State, which got an at-large as a 3 to Texas, is 68. So, like compare that to Texas's regional, where the DSRs there are 3 for Texas, 29 for UTSA, 68 for Kansas State, 111 for Houston Christian. I just think it's the most balanced regional. So with that, what do you see as the keys to determining who advances here, Graham?
To me, it's all about the pitching, especially with all the really good offense that we will see. Like when you look at all these teams, it's like Murray State, most all-conference selections in the Missouri Valley Conference. Western Kentucky, same thing in Conference USA. And then Georgia Tech has 3 first-team all-conference selection. They had 7 total make all-conference in the ACC. So I just think it all comes down to pitching, as it always does. So you got to get good quality starts from Elliott, Maddox. If we do see Mason Nichols at any point, like what does he look like? So he got hurt in his last start. That was against Auburn. The game 3 did not pitch at all in Hoover. So what does Mason Nichols look like if Ole Miss does want to use him? Or will Ole Miss go back to Townsend? Townsend, who's been the midweek starter, he will be the guy for the future on Friday nights for Ole Miss. So to me, the keys for Ole Miss, you got to get really good quality pitching. Just the timely hitting, Ole Miss top 8 in the country in home runs. I think that will be a big boost and benefit for the Rebels in that area. But the bullpen to me is the biggest key. It has to continue to pitch at a high level. Again, they only gave up 2 runs in Hoover. They're going to have to lean on guys like Morris, Hooks, McCausland, like you name it. Just your typical names that you see coming out of the bullpen for Ole Miss have got to pitch at a high level in order for the Rebels to make it out of this.
We know it's going to be a great environment, but there are not many 2 seeds who carry more of an emotional Excalibur than Georgia Tech does. Yeah. With a 30-plus year legend having already announced he is going to step down in Danny Hall. And, I mean, you've got an entire group of multi-talented and future big leaguers willing to lay down in traffic to make this not his last game before Omaha. And, I mean, unbelievably impressed with what Ole Miss did in Hoover, especially the bullpen. Graham, you've been on it from the beginning. And the Morris kid, I've got a good buddy, Josh Pittman, who's Ole Miss baseball is his favorite sport. And he's asked me repeatedly, what can we do to get Morris more innings? Because the dude is lights out. But I just think there's a great line in Field of Dreams. Sometimes the universe, the cosmic tumblers click together and they show you what is possible. This is not Danny Hall's time to go out.
Okay. Graham?
Well, I'm picking Ole Miss, but look, Georgia Tech is no joke. I mean, the camera was right on them. Everybody saw their reaction. It was like,
yeah,
golf claps, stoic faces when they were announced. ACC champs, the Danny Hall point is a very good point. His final year, ACC Coach of the Year. So they're going to be motivated. But like this is what I think the benefit for Ole Miss is. Like, they've been through these battles in the SEC. Like, this is what helps build you, prepares you for this moment. They're going to be at home, first home regional since 2021 for Ole Miss. So, I mean, the environment is going to be outstanding and electric. So, I just – again, Ole Miss is a team where, like, they might not be number 1, 2, or 3 in the best categories, but they just find ways to win. And I just think Ole Miss is going to find a way to get the job done and take care of business. And what is potentially one of the hardest regionals, because Chris said the numbers, like, everybody is around the top 50 point in the country, and then all these teams can really swing it. So, again, if you like offense, this is the regional for you, but I'm going to lean on Ole Miss. This is a veteran team with a lot of seniors and juniors that play a ton. So I just think that experience and playing in Oxford and Swayze Field is going to be the difference.
Yeah, Graham, if I have one quibble with you, I think we might have undersold the pitching in this regional a little bit. Those teams are good offensively. But in the real, like, if I could take the field to any team, I would. We got to pick a team. I'm going to take Ole Miss. My reason will be because I saw how well the bullpen came along. Now, the Nichols injury does make it a little bit more difficult, but I just thought, McCausland, Morris was such a rock for them all year. McCausland pitched better during the season. Walker Hooks, we saw him some in Hoover. And I get it's a different stage, right? That was an extreme pitcher's environment. But maybe it allowed your guys to get some confidence, too. You mentioned Townsend. They got Gunnar Dennis that's pitched a lot of innings. Calhoun, Connor Spencer at the back end. When he's great, he's electric. I think I saw enough out of Ole Miss. I'm nervous with the pick either way. I have to make a pick. But I think I saw enough out of Ole Miss's bullpen. You know me. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to lean pitching. I think Ole Miss has got more of it. Western Kentucky statistically does. But again, a lot of that was built up against quad 4 teams. So we'll see how that holds up over an extended weekend. Can't wait to watch it. We'll be here to cover it when it's done. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all the things that help us. For Graham Doty and Jay Greason, God bless you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join our premium membership tier. That's $4 a month. You get bonus content. Either way, we'll see you again soon with more SEC baseball content here at Southeastern 16.